That's it, boys and girls. No more physical media. No more physical games. What's going to happen? We knew this was coming. Well, it's being reported. It is, now, mind you, it is just a rumor right now, but it's being reported. What is going on with this? That Microsoft has shut down its physical games division. Ads on, I can't stand ads. Anyways, now with the first month of 2024 not yet being over, the game industry is just being blasted right now. Microsoft recently just laid off 1,900 people in a mass layoff in their entire game division. And it seems like part of those layoffs are going to come at the detriment of the physical game division. Now, this coming from Windows Central journalist Jez Corden, who said in a recent tweet that Microsoft has shut down departments dedicated to bringing Xbox games to physical retail. He went on to point out that that doesn't necessarily mean Xbox is quitting physical media altogether and could instead opt to outsource physical distribution going forward. But it's certainly not a good sign where the company's long-term plans are headed. Now, this isn't anything new, guys. Look, you take a look at the Xbox Series X and S, they have been moving in that direction into digital media, into digital distribution for quite some time. The Xbox Series S in itself, that is a digital machine. There are rumors of the upcoming new release of the Xbox Series X. I guess it's going to be like the Xbox Series X Pro or whatever they call it, is going to be digital only. That is the plan of Xbox. That is the plan of Microsoft. They want to get away from the physical distribution. It does save some money. Not a lot, but it does save money in the long run. Look, you take a look at some of these brick and mortar stores, Best Buy and Walmart, they're moving away from the physical media altogether. Best Buy's getting rid of DVDs and Blu-rays as we speak. Walmart, as we're talking right now, has already started getting rid of what? The physical Xbox games. They are removing them from their store shelves as we talk right now. This is something that is coming. And I get it. There are people who are upset about it. People love to have that product in their hand. They love to have that box in their hand. And unfortunately, it's not the same as it was in the 90s and early 2000s when you could open up that game and have a little booklet to look at. That was one of my favorite things as a kid, was to get a game and get that booklet out. And you would sit there and read that booklet for hours on end. That was amazing. It's not the same anymore. It's not how it is anymore. But when you take a look at it, I have transitioned. I've moved to this idea of physical media or digital media from physical media. It's just so much simpler. I used to love physical media, but I've moved to the digital age because it's just simple. I don't need to go to the store. I don't need to go do a pre-order at GameStop or Best Buy or what have you. I can just go on my Xbox. I can go on my streaming service of my choosing and just click buy. And I get it like that. That to me is so much better. But what it comes down to is, and I get the concern because this is a major concern. Who then owns that product? We saw recently with Sony, where I believe it's Warner Brothers and Sony, their licensing agreement has come to an end, and a lot of their movies that people bought and TV shows on the PlayStation on their store are just going to disappear because that licensing agreement is no longer there. So you went and spent $20, $30, $40, $50 on this product thinking you bought it, thinking you had it, and one day it just disappears because a licensing agreement is no longer valid with that company that you bought it through. That's a dangerous, dangerous slope there. And then you have somebody from Ubisoft, the director of subscriptions, Phillips Tremblay, recently spoke with GameIndustry.biz about the digital future and Ubisoft Plus specifically. He states that people eventually got comfortable with not owning their CD and DVDs collections, and that a similar shift in attitude needs to happen in gamers. Well, here's the thing. I know I have Apple Music, and I know people who have Spotify, and I understand it's a subscription. I'm paying X amount of dollars a month, and I don't own that music. I know that if I don't pay that subscription, I lose all that music. I don't get to listen to it. That's a big difference. There's a big difference than paying $60 for a game or paying $15 for an album, a specific album, and thinking, hey, I'm buying that album, I'm buying that game, I'm buying that movie, and saying, I'm buying that. That's mine. There's a big difference there. You see, Microsoft has been moving towards their Xbox Game Pass. I think ultimately that's what they want to do. They want to get away from even digital sales. They want just people to come. You want to play an Xbox game? Get on Xbox Game Pass. You'll be able to play a game that way. Philip Tremblay from Ubisoft goes on. He explains that not owning a game doesn't mean you lose your progress, and that you will keep the time you invested and what you have built, even though you don't have a physical copy to stick on your shelf. He also says that he understands the gamer's perspective when it comes to owning games. He claims that services like Ubisoft Plus will allow them to access their games when you feel like. Again, we're seeing this shift, and it's going to be subscription services. And it's going to get to a point where when are subscription services just too much? When are there too many subscription services when it comes to streaming services for movies, streaming services for games, this and that? That's when things are going to get interesting and hard, because then you're going to have to make those hard choices on what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep. That's the difficult part. People want to own what they play. You know, there's a certain point, like I have Xbox Game Pass, and I love playing the games on it. But there are some games that I just want to own. Halo, I love Halo. I want to just be able to sit down at any point in time. Like, let's say I lose my job and I can't afford to pay for Xbox Game Pass. I still want to be able to sit down and play Halo. I still want to sit down and play Forza. I still want to sit down and play the games that I want to play because I own them. I don't want to have to be stuck with a subscription that I can't afford sometimes. And that's where this disconnect is, I think, with the studios right now, with the developers and studios and distribution and the gamers. You know, what Ubisoft is saying here, there's a disconnect right now. Because he's saying people understand that with CD and DVD collections. Again, Netflix, having a subscription to Netflix, you understand you don't own those movies. Buying a DVD, buying a movie, buying a digital movie, you still believe you own that movie. It's only really started to come out recently that you may not own that movie when you buy it digitally. And there's been a big problem there. Let me know your thoughts on all of this, obviously. This is pretty huge for Microsoft, moving this direction. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be all or nothing right now. This generation, I still think, has probably 4 or 5 years left in it. But come next generation of gaming, come the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, I have a feeling that is going to be an all-digital age. You will not be able to buy a console with a disc drive already inside of it. It's going to be interesting. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe. Find me on all the social medias. And with all that said, everyone, I'll catch you all later.